Okay, guys, after that long discussion of the terror trim, comes the next maze, which is Evil Dead. And if you guys have seen the movie, it's really, it's really gnarly. I'll put it to you that way. I personally watched the original and the remake, so I was excited about this maze. For me, it fell kind of flat. I don't know. It's just, you know, it goes by person to person. But after The Thing last year,
2011.
Oh my God, I loved it so much. But however, for this maze, I usually base it on if I can't remember it, then it didn't leave a big impact on me. That was the one maze I also wanted to go besides Walking Dead and Insidious.
Insidious.
Yeah. However, for me, the only one thing that I can remember is my friend worked in the maze. She was with the knife and the tongue, so I told her before, please, if I see you and you're there, which she said she would be, do the tongue thing. So I'm looking for her. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Sure enough, she ran over and did the tongue thing. I'm geeking out like, wow! Yes! Yes! You know, trying to stand there without people pushing you away. But out of that, besides, I can't remember the bathroom scene, but they did have the one with the arm cutting. It felt kind of flat, like the scare outs, like the boogie boogie when they jump out at you. It was okay, but I don't know. It just, something was lacking. I don't know what it was. What's your thought? I know you're big. You like this maze.
I loved it. I loved it very much because I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead films like Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and I was really excited to see the remake. And I saw it twice because I enjoyed it so much. It did hold up the spirit of the original, and I was excited to find out. And it was the first maze announcement was going to be Evil Dead, and I got really excited. And then when the day came to go in it, I was very pleased. It captured the feeling of the films. Even the infamous tree rape scene was in there.
Oh yeah, it was.
I saw a lot of guys and a lot of women were squirming at that scene.
If you don't know the tree scene, it is bad.
I want to explain it. Go see the movie. It's worth.
Oh Lord, go ahead and explain it. I cringe.
So they had a lot of stuff from the remake, that some significant scenes. I think one of my favorite scenes was it was near the beginning, and it's where you first enter the cabin, and Eric is reading the Book of the Dead and the Necronomicon, and then suddenly, like, as soon as he finishes his last line, the actress comes out, and they have an audio dub from the movie where she goes, "You're all going to die tonight," and she lip synced it so well, and it's just disturbing. And it's oh my gosh, that scene. I think that was my favorite scene out of the entire maze because it was just so much fun to watch. But in terms of scares, the maze, I do agree, was lacking. However, it did get me a couple of times. This maze had a ton of secret doors in it.
They did. Yeah, it did. That was one thing I was surprised at.
Or boo doors in the industry, as it calls. There was a ton of boo doors, and they worked really well. I think those scared me more than any other actors in the movie, in the maze. There was a scene where, near the end, where you get to the shack, just before the Abomination finale scene, in every maze they have these little dividers that you walk through, and I walked right through it, and there's a boo door right in front of it.
Oh my God! I think I know what you're talking about.
And the Abomination came out one side, made me jump, and then when the actors came out with a chainsaw right in front of me, and I'm like, doubled.
Were you going first, though? Were you the first one?
I was
He's
first.
brave. I push people ahead of me first, so if they jump, I know what's coming.
I'm like my dad. I just go feet first. And
Yep. That's so funny that you mentioned the tree scene. If you guys don't know the tree scene, it's after he read the book. She's running through the forest, and basically the tree impregnates her, as I call it, with the demon.
It's how she gets possessed. And it's a really sick scene. Yeah. But you can't look away.
You can't. And all girls, if you watch this, a lot of my friends have watched it, it's like, ouch.
You're crossing your legs.
So bad. You are literally, it's like hentai. It's like the tentacle porn. You're like, oh my God. But the thing is, though, in the maze, it was a dummy and a walkthrough. I was like, you could do so much more with this. Like maybe actually put a live actress, heaven forbid, live actors and no perverted jokes, but going like that.
It's funny you should say that, only because the Orlando version actually had a live actor for that. However, I know we had a dummy, but ours looked better because I'm watching. If you guys are interested in seeing any of the maze walkthroughs, check out Sharp Productions. He does fantastic night vision walkthroughs for every maze from, I believe, he goes all the way back for 2010 all the way to 2013. Mm-hmm. So check out his videos, but to see what I mean. And with the Orlando one, she's pretending to grabbing branches, and you can clearly see she's not grabbing anything. She's like, ah! And it's like, our dummy looks better.
Yeah, they only had for our dummy the screaming effect. So she's basically like this and she's not moving. Maybe if they add a little bit of wriggling to the arms like a puppet kind of, doo-doo-doo. To me it just looked cheesy because I'm like, hearing the screams, I'm looking at the face of the dummy, you like it, biatch.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just me because I'm weird like that. But for me, because that for me is the one, is besides the tongue splitting thing, is the one scene in the movie that I remember is that tentacle thing. And I'm like, you could do so much more with this. Like, I do understand the actors get tired and it's like, oh my god, I want to go home, I'm so tired, my voice.
Well, they switch out, I think, every hour or so.
But the thing is, though, for me, it was a pinnacle point in the movie where a lot of girls are like, oh my god, don't do it, but you can't look away, like you said. Yeah. So it's just, but besides that, do you feel that the maze stuck true with the movie? Because that's what I look for.
I do, actually. Every set piece I recognized. That's the beauty of the crew that works on Horror Nights, and Chris Williams' brilliant design schemes, and as well as John Murdy's creative input to it. It's just a culmination on how well they come out with these sets. I mean, they look fantastic. Again, this is why I favor Horror Nights above any other attraction in California, is because their sets are made by Hollywood filmmaking crews. So they look fantastic. So it had that feel of the movies. I believe even the director went through and he loved it.
Oh wow.
So
yeah.
And I know some of the actors said, heck, if you need some extra scare actors, we'll do it. So, which they have done, by the way. Some actors from the films that they've used in the movies have actually gone on to cameo in the mazes.
That is awesome. I didn't know that. Oh my
One
God.
quick example is Lee Wannell. Sorry, Lee Wannell from Insidious. Actually, you know the two, and we'll talk about this when we get to Insidious real quick. But the two guys outside the maze with the giving out the cards and stuff. Yeah, Lee Wannell actually played his character for one night at Horror Nights, giving out cards and stuff. And I heard, I wish I would have seen it because I love that movie.
You'd be geeking out, wouldn't you?
I would be geeking out.
We're geeking out right now just by remembering the mazes.
But Evil Dead lived up to the movie. It was a fun maze to go through. Yes, it may have lacked in some of the scares, but it made up for atmosphere and fun. That's
the one thing I was going to say. The atmosphere looked like you were actually in the movie. To me, a lot of the mazes at sometimes Halloween Horror Nights, they'll fall flat because some of it just doesn't look right. This one did look right for me. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the cheap scares that because I just wanted to look at the movie scenes like cutting and the tree rape. That's what I wanted to see, but the cheap scares kind of was like, it was just lacking something. Maybe it's the night that I went. Yeah. Maybe because you did go on the first night. Yeah. That the actors were pumped, and so it was more. But the sets, though, did correspond with the movie really well. That's what I did like about it.
I think some of the highlights for me would be the animatronic effects. There's a couple, and one is a really good water gag. If you've seen the movie, or even if you've seen the trailer, you see the scene where she vomits on the woman. Yeah, they had that in the maze where she looks like she's vomiting, and then she twists her head towards the audience, and you get sprayed.
That was epic.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, but when we went, I don't think that happened. I think we walked ahead of them, because like I said, when I run and I'm scared, I'm like, I know someone's going to jump. So I think that the person behind me got
That's
it probably,
great.
and I missed it, which was like, dang it. Because, when you hear someone scream behind you, your instinct is to go, ah, and then run stupidly into the next scene where the characters are like, yeah, here we go, woo.
The trapdoor scene was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There was Mia in the basement, kind of going up and down. You could see the trapdoor opening and closing. The other cool thing was in the basement where you're walking across the bridge over the water thing, and the animatronic Mia comes out, floats over the water to go at the guests, and that was fantastic.
That was good. If I was to rate it, I would give it halfway, probably a 5. I don't know I don't know, I did enjoy it. The sets were everything, really good. But I just don't know, you guys, something was really off, and I cannot put my finger on it. Something was off. I don't know. I just can't. I keep on thinking about it since we've been talking about it. I'm like, what is it that it's lacking? And I don't know what it's lacking. For me, I really do feel that the cheap scares, like this, the boo, I'm going to get you. Besides if it was corresponding with the movie, it would probably scare me more because I know it's coming. It's like, oh God, here it comes. Wah! Ah! The spray thing. I missed that. I'm like, dang it. But the cheap scares for me really bumped it down. But I did enjoy it. The sets corresponded with the film really well. But because of the fact that I don't remember a lot of it besides the tree rape and the knife cutting, the two pivotal things in the movie, the cheap scares really took it away from me. But that's what my rating is on it personally.
I would have given it an 8 out of 10. Simply, I think my rating might be a little lower if I wasn't a fan of Evil Dead to begin with. But as a fan and as a fan of Horror Nights and their quality of work, I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10. The lowest would probably be for scares. I felt that the scares were great. They were good at most. They weren't anything special. But the mazes that are coming up, oh my gosh, they were scary. So
yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that in our next.
So I would give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, awesome. Okay, guys, sorry for the longness. I may have to make this into 5 parts. I don't care. Just hold on to it really quick because we are going in depth here, really in depth.
We geek out too much about
We are geeking out. It's like we're hello, Big Shirts here. We're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights, so we are geeking out a little bit. So I hope you do enjoy. All right, so I haven't been saying this in my other previous 2 videos. I may have to make this into a split up. Because this one is 12 minutes, something. I may combine something. I can go longer, as you guys do know. However, if we don't, comment, rate, subscribe if you haven't. Crazy English Man's channel will be in the down bar below in all of these videos, so you guys can sub to him. He is great. Okay, and we're going to see you guys in the next video. What is the next? It's going to be
Insidious.
Oh, yes,
Into
Insidious.
the Further.
Oh, good maze. Okay, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.